Welcome back to the Student Hub Live event for our Access students. In this session, we are going to answer every single question that you've got in 30 minutes. So that's the variable here that we're looking at. HJ and George are on our hot desk. Hello. Is it cold in here or is it just me?
Well, we're just trying out some different hats. We thought everyone's got so much cool things in the chat. They've got all their pets, so we thought we'd have our hats because we're not allowed our pets in here.
Well, I'm a pet rabbit. Maybe.
But I'm actually very happy because I managed to get TMA 2. George brought it over for me.
It's not what you know.
I am happy.
It wasn't what you wanted, but it's better than nothing. So there you have it.
Yeah, we've got loads of great questions coming through. So earlier, Julie asked, is my tutor going to call me?
Brilliant. OK, so to answer all of these questions, I'm going to introduce our panel because we have John Butcher, who knows everything.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Jackie Pickles, who is from our Careers and Employability Service, one of the many services that you as an Access student have access to, including the library. And if you'd like to find out more about those things, you can go to our Student Hub Live YouTube channel, Google the library, the Careers and Employability Service, and you'll find out all about what they have to offer. And we have a real-life student, Tenji, who has studied an Access module and is still alive. Yes. So that's great. So if you are worried about dying, with the exception possibly of Sean and that large snake, then hopefully Jackie and John and Tenji can reassure you that everything will be OK. Right, HJ, what's our first question?
So it was, is my tutor going to call me?
Is your tutor going to call you? John?
Yeah, shall I take that one?
Yeah.
So really important distinction about the Access programme is that our tutors have a one-to-one relationship, as it were. Sorry, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? They work with their students on a one-to-one basis and they do it by telephone. Yeah. So unlike the experience students might have when they progress through the university, it's very, very supportive. Just so people understand, a tutor will be given a group of about 17 students that they're responsible for, and they'll be given a kind of time allowance, but tutors are usually very flexible about this. And a tutor will proactively call you as a student and arrange a kind of schedule across the 30 weeks of when they might call, and they'll have perhaps a 20-minute telephone conversation with you about every 3 weeks. So yes, the tutor will take the lead on that, but obviously our tutors are very experienced and will respond as well if you want to contact them. Yeah. So it's a really supportive relationship.
And we're just at the brink of module start, and very often people think on Saturday there's going to be bells and whistles and phone calls and this, that and the other, but sometimes it may not happen till Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday, etc.
No. And there might even be some tutors for students who've registered very late who are only just getting their details now. So be patient for a few days. If anyone's really worried, as we've said before, get in touch with your student support team as well. But frankly, the tutors will be contacting you and they're your first port of call for support.
Brilliant. OK, excellent. Other questions?
I've got one from Michelle, who's got a question. This is really hurting my head. Who's got a question about activities. Right. So the question is, do we do all the activities in a book or are they online?
Should we ask our student what you did with the activities?
Yes, so there was some online, there's some on the book, but you do all of them. Obviously, the more you do, the more you get involved and learn more, basically.
And if I may, thank you. It's worth saying when we designed the modules, we don't just put the activities in there to be horrible to students. They're part of the learning experience. And I think you're absolutely right. If you can do them all, you will get the most out of your module and you'll be reflecting on your own learning and you'll be testing out your understanding to make sure you've understood anything. If you ever, and no one ever does, fall behind a little bit with your module, talk to your tutor and your tutor will help you maybe select 1 or 2 activities you might skip. But I think start off with the right course of action, do them all, engage with them, you'll get the most out of the module.
And if I may just mention for the YO32 students, because in addition to sitting on this chair, I'm also the chair of YO32, they're essay builder activities, which are really, really important because they all link to assessment. So while you can do those in a book or on the back of a fag packet or anywhere, if you do them online in that space, you can then export them. So do watch out for those essay builder activities, which are a really good idea to do.
And if I may, you may also discuss the activities you've done with your tutor in your telephone call. Yeah. So you're getting some feedback there as well.
So there's always something to talk about in that phone call. Brilliant. Right, let's have some more questions.
So one great question that I had earlier from Patricia was, can I keep in touch with my tutor? Now I've got the details, should I introduce myself, send messages or call? What's the best thing to do?
What did you do?
Yes, you can, because the tutor tends to introduce themselves at the beginning of the module, and they give you the contact details to say, yeah, contact me if you need anything. So, yes.
I think as a tutor, it's really nice if a student does a lovely little initial contact. Hi, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, maybe I work, but I'm back from work at 6. So if you're going to call me, try. Just that little communication to get it going, really. But I think that's appreciated by both sides.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Excellent.
Lauren is asking about the blocks and whether whether you get them in book form or whether they have to be studied online.
Okay. Could I take that one? Because it might have changed since you
Yeah.
were a student. Do you mind? So we had a big midlife review of Access recently, and one of the things we did, all 3 modules now have 3 blocks of study. And if you remember back to George's snail diagram right at the start, the 3 blocks are kind of 7-8 weeks each, and you work through until you get to the end of the module. Block 1 of all our modules is a beautiful hard copy book, and you should have received that by now. And then we support our students to gradually go more online, and blocks 2 and 3 are delivered online. So there's something for everybody, really. The key thing about doing blocks 2 and 3 online is if you're going to study further with the Open University, a lot of the things you engage with will be online. So even if you're worried about studying online, don't. There's lots of support, but really we're preparing you for what will come later.
Brilliant. Excellent. There's a lot with online study
And
you
I
can
think
do.
in careers terms, it's a good skill, isn't it?
Yeah,
Jackie?
definitely. It's a really good skill to be able to show that you're building up that literacy, digital literacy, and the different skills of using the forums and contributing to the different ways that you're learning.
And we've had students tell us they've literally never turned on a computer before, and we're very worried about this. And then because of the way we've taken them on a very gentle trajectory, by the end of it, they're quite confident digital learners. So this is great, I
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
Did you enjoy your online studies?
Yes, I did. It was less paperwork for a start.
Yes.
And years ago, before I stopped studying, well, I thought I'd finished, but then obviously there was a lot more.
You come back.
I did a correspondence course,
Right.
which was a certificate in travel and tourism. So I had to send everything by post. It was
Yes.
heavy, and everything was like hard copy. So it's much
Some
easier
of us are
online.
old enough to remember when the Open University was like that. Good.
It's so much better online, definitely.
Okay, that's nice to hear.
Yeah, and I like watching the videos, and it just feels a lot more vibrant sometimes. And yeah, there's lots of fun
Well,
activities
that's worth
to do.
saying, isn't it, actually, that yes, we've got beautiful print materials, but actually our interactive online materials are full of films and audio clips and
Polls and
yeah,
forum
and
posts and
it's quite
discussions.
exciting actually when
Yeah.
you get into it. So don't be put off. It's not just like reading a bit of text online. There's
Yeah.
lots of things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. And sometimes that learning is not always apparent when you're doing some of those things. You think, oh, I've just been watching a video, I've been talking to people about where my T-shirt's from, or various things like that. But all of those have underpinned learning opportunities that are really important.
Yeah.
Right, other questions?
Well, very importantly, we have a recipe for lemon meringue pie in the chat.
Oh, thank
So
goodness for
I
that.
felt that needed to be said.
South African lemon meringue pie.
That's it. Babshi said that's proper lemon
Yes,
meringue pie, and we
yeah.
need to give it a go. So we're very glad to see the recipe.
Actually, I'd like a recipe for South African milk tart as well, because that's my favourite.
And Lauren did say earlier that baking is essentially just chemistry, so it's all part of our studies, isn't it?
Oh, working through, yeah.
But Tyler did ask a good question. Tyler said, I haven't received my pack in the post yet. Should I have had it by now? And what should I do if I haven't had it?
Okay, that's an unfortunate question, but let's address that. If you applied relatively late, I would just give it a few days to see if the system needed to kick in to do that. I think if you haven't received it, get in touch with your student support team and get some advice. And if you get contact from your tutor, let your tutor know, because obviously if you haven't got your pack, you can't really start your study. So I think
Well, you
it's
could
quite
go
important.
online and look at the
You
book.
could go online. You could go online. Explain that, Karen. Go on. How can a
Well,
student do that?
I'm a massive fan of online, as you might have guessed. But the book, in its beauty, is also available as a PDF version online.
Yeah.
So whilst it's not as fun to read in sort of book format online, you can download that PDF. And the thing I like about it is not only can you read it, but then when you've got an assignment, you can search for things and use certain terms that you couldn't necessarily do in a book in quite the same way. So you can still access everything and just go onto that VLE like people saw beforehand. Have a look at the book and have a look at the materials, and you won't feel as behind. You won't
No,
feel like
that's
you can't
true.
start.
And it shouldn't be an excuse, because if
Yeah.
you can access the stuff, get in there and have a look.
Yeah, but it is important to get those materials
It
because
is.
then you highlight them. Brilliant. George?
Just to say that the warehouse send out materials every day. So if you haven't got it today, you might have it tomorrow. Students are registering on the course right up until last Thursday. So it's very much kind of happening. I'm sure if you don't have your materials yet, they will be winging their way to you in the not too distant future.
Oh, yeah, because there are loads of students. I mean, there's 176,000 OU students. So the warehouse is very, very busy, but
Yes.
they're also, as you say, dispatching things. Lauren's got to go. Bye for now, Lauren. We'll see you back later. She says bye for now, OU family, including the hot desk. So, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see you very shortly. OK, so not to worry about the books. Those are all being dispatched. And if you're really worried, you can contact your student support team. What other questions do we have?
There was a great chat earlier where people were talking about the different things going on in their lives. Some people are dealing with disabilities, things going on with work and family. And what we're a bit worried about is what happens if that affects our study, or we might have a bad day where we might not be keeping up or doing the study that we should. What would your advice be?
Oh, I think we can all answer that.
Yeah. Go on, you kick
As a
it.
student, so I do have a disability, which is a prognosis of meningitis. So it's left me a little bit foggy. So when I'm studying, I panic and I get into anxiety. And then I get in touch with my tutor to say, this is my situation. So I've got a letter from the GP to have an extension of all my assignments. So as long as you speak with the tutor and just keep them informed how you're feeling at the time. And I work full time as well. But yeah, it's about managing basically and getting in touch, communicating with the university. That's it, my personal experience, basically. Sorry.
No, that's really good. I'd just say that there's lots of skills that you would get from doing all the sort of juggling that you've just explained there. And a lot of times when we're talking to employers about recruiting OU students or working with OU students, they're really pleased with how you can show that you can manage maybe childcare or a disability or juggling all the other things like being a carer maybe. And so I'd really encourage people to sort of, you know, I know it's tough and sort of getting through it, but sort of thinking about, well, what can I show from this? You know, what have I gained from this? So, you know, organisational skills, time planning skills, all those other things. So, yeah, just a slightly different spin on that as well.
And I think it's worth saying that the university is very used to a wide range of students. So about 30% of our students on the Access programme will have declared a disability, and others will face many, many challenges when they're studying. The kids will get ill. You know, we've had lots of things have affected people's studies. I think key things is, one, talk to your tutor about it. Don't hide it, so that your tutor knows, and they're very, very experienced at offering the kind of advice, some of which might be get an extension on your assignment, but some of it might be just routes through the module material so you can study a bit more kind of smartly, for want of a better word, and talk to your student support team as well so that they're aware. And if anything, there's something about be very open if you're struggling. I think the worst thing you can do is kind of hide away. And we know some students withdraw from Access in a way that, had they but told us the challenges they were facing, we probably could have helped them get through. So I think recognise it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen for every student in different ways. But don't be put off. And the successes our students have suggest the support does get you through.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. And I think that people in the chat today realising that people have all these other things to juggle. Sometimes you think you're the only one with a chaotic life or more commitments than other people, but actually so many people do get through it with all sorts of things going on.
And we know from the forums that students will share stories on the forums and will receive support from other students as well, to say nothing of your family and your friends and other things as well. So you are alone as an Open University student, but don't be alone. Yeah. Look at other people, get other people involved in your studies as well.
Yeah, brilliant. George and HJ, how's everyone?
Very, very busy, still very busy, lots of enthusiasm. Graham was asking about whether or not we needed headphones and microphones for the tutorials. And very helpfully, Erica, who is one of our tutors, has replied in the chat. So that's really fantastic, saying that there are 1 or 2 group tutorials using a piece of software called Adobe Connect later in the module. And if you want to talk during those tutorials, you will need a microphone. However, you can just type in a chat box, much like we're doing today. But the main thing is that that's much later in the module. It's all explained how to do it. It's not anything we need to worry about at the moment. But it's lovely to know that there is some group interaction later on in the course.
And thank you, Erica, for logging in. It's wonderful that our tutors log in also. Yesterday, actually, we were talking about where to get headsets from, and there was a lot of love for pound shop headsets and things like that. And of course, in addition to talking, I think one of the most important things with headsets is hearing. Because if you can't hear, you miss out on just so much that's going on. So it's really important to do that. And on Wire32, we'll have some Adobe Connect tutorials coming up very soon, actually. So yeah, it's worth being able to check you can hear stuff from then. Any other questions?
Yeah, we've got a great question, which I think Jackie may be able to help us or point us in the right direction from Lola. Lola's wondering, will the religion, philosophy and ethics degree be compatible to go on to teach RE, as that's her goal, or is it best just to do a religion degree?
Oh. I mean, in answer to your question, what teacher training providers tend to say is they want 50%, around 50% of your degree to be in the subject that you want to teach. But there's no real hard and fast rules. So what I would say to people is kind of do research, have a look at if you have a chosen provider, if you live near a place that's offering a PGCE or you know where you're wanting to do it, you can research what kind of things they're going to be looking for. But aside from that, I would just say, taking subjects that you really enjoy, that you're going to be passionate about, that you're going to, that's going to help you do the best that you possibly can. And get the best grades that you can and keep motivated to study, really, and then kind of look at where that can take you.
And Access is a fantastic place because it's so broad to
Yes,
start, and then you'll move up to
absolutely.
level 1 and increasingly get more specialised. There are 2 areas that students might go to. One is the student support team, who might be able to advise on qualification routes. But top line, Jack, I mean, what do the Careers Service offer to students? You've got this wonderful book here, which I love, but also you offer more than just careers advice. And as Access students, of course, they've now got access to this fantastic service. So just give us a sort of top line of what they can get.
Yeah, so there's lots of support we can offer. So basically, we're aware that you're kind of really just starting the studies right at the moment. So at any point of the journey, you can come to us. There's lots of support on the website around where you're trying to decide what you might want to do in the end. So if you're looking for a career change or looking to go into a new career, you can use some of the exercises in the career planning workbook, or some
And
of
that's
the...
something you can either access online or you can get a free print version of that if you want to colour it in.
Yes, you can do that.
Good to take on holiday because there's lots of reflective activities. No, really?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because you can think about yourself and what you want to do and dream on the beach.
Definitely. So I would encourage you to have a look at the workbook. So there's exercises around sort of deciding what you want to do next. But then if you do know what you want to do, there's information we can link you into to find out what your next steps would have to be or may need to be. You can look at webinars, forums, you can join interactive webinars, sort of almost like a group session or workshop, a bit like this. You can, as I say, sort of join into forums. We've got one coming up in November around education, so sort of careers within education. We've also got an employer engagement team. So at the beginning of November, we've got what we call online Talent Connect. So it's a careers fair. So it's an online careers fair. So there's lots of employers coming along to the careers fair, which you're welcome to sort of log into and chat and talk to them about what kind of things they might be looking for. And obviously we do offer a one-to-one service. So if you do feel that you want to have a chat individually with a careers consultant, you can request a callback or a Skype or email interaction through the website.
Plus you also help with CVs and like
Exactly.
job interviews. There's loads of it. And all of that you can find from your student homepage, and you can click on the careers section from that, and then you can find out more about all the events and opportunities and resources, importantly.
We have a careers forum on the Access forum, don't we?
Yeah.
So a fortnight, I think, later in the year, there will be a specialist service for our Access students. The other thing, if I can quickly say, is how brilliant for a student to be thinking about what they want to do in that. but you've got time.
Yes, lots of
You've got your access module, you've got your level 1 modules probably before you need to start specialising. So you've got time to do your research. And also I want to make the point that other students might be out there thinking, oh my God, I haven't got a clue what I want to do. You've got time to work that out as well.
Yes.
And I would, everybody I want who's here, send off for one of these and work your way through it and talk to your tutor about it and all that kind of stuff.
Brilliant. HJ, I'll put the link to the chat in that as well. And the other thing, of course, that people are having a lot of love for that they get for free as an OU student is Office 365.
Yes, we absolutely love it because we can use it on all our computers and we can save things to OneNote that we can access on our phones while we're about as well. And I've put the link in the chat to access that because it gives you access to loads of essential programs that you can use for studying and your university email address as well, which is great if you want to chat to your tutor that way or if you just want to use it for all the great discounts you can get as well.
Oh yes, we must say, don't forget to get your Totem card, which is like your NUS card. You pay a small fee for it, but you get stacks of money off loads and loads of shops. And you get to go in and say, I'm a student. Here's my student ID. And it's just great. Other questions we haven't covered, George?
Sort of following on from what John was just saying, there's a brilliant question from Michelle, which is, are we able to change the degree we have selected for after the access module?
What a great question and a really important one. And I want to shout this answer. Yes, you can. Okay. And in fact, the whole point of the access programme, and if you've started to look at your materials already, all 3 of the modules are what we would call interdisciplinary. So there are probably about 5 or 6 or 7 subject areas that are introduced in that. And often we find that students have opted for a particular qualification route, but on doing their access module, they decide, oh, I really thought I wanted to do X. Now I realise what studying X is like. I really don't. But I've really enjoyed doing Y, so now I want to change my route. And yes, of course you can, all the way through. And in a way, engage with the module in that way. Don't assume you know what you're going to do, because one of the reasons students withdraw from higher education is they make the wrong subject choice. They always think they want to be a something, and in the end they decide, no, that's not for them. So yes, you can.
Brilliant.
I would really echo that.
Sorry, Jackie.
I was just going to say, I spoke to students through the Moving On week with this similar question and just say, you know, lots of people sort of think, just as you've said, they sort of study one thing thinking that that's definitely the route they want to go. But one of the great things about access is sort of opening up everybody's ideas and views about where they might want to end up. So, yeah, I'd just sort of echo what John's saying.
And you can do subjects at university that you simply couldn't do at school as well. So often people don't even know what some of the subjects are. Yeah.
Brilliant. OK. So I'd like to see how everyone's feeling at home, because we started today with a variety of feelings. But have we reassured everyone at home, HJ and George?
I think so. We're all very excited to start our access modules. We're feeling ready to go, and we've got lots of goals and ideas for progressing forward, which is fantastic. We've also had some photos sent in from some of the people that have been watching, which is amazing, and I'm looking forward to adding to our board. So this is a picture of Jason, who's watching from Gothenburg in Sweden, which is amazing. Babshi also sent in a picture of a study space, and I'm still very happy about that recipe for a lemon meringue pie. I'm a bit jealous about how organised the desk is.
That looks very super
It is
organised.
very organised. I'm never that
It's the start of
organised.
the year, though. So.
That's it. And Rob sent in a picture of his very organised study space as well. He's got 2 screens, so he can watch Student Hub Live and study at the same time, which is
complete
amazing.
multitasking.
But I know in the chat there's been so many questions and comments today. So if we did miss anything, just email us, studenthub@open.ac.uk, and we'd love to get back to you and answer your question. Or if there's anything you think of later or want to let us know, we'd love to hear from you.
Brilliant. We've covered all of the things that we think are really important from an access perspective, but there's a whole heap more. But I guess the take-home message as we sort of end today's session is that while there's a lot of stuff going on, there's plenty of time to get to grips with it. It's week 0. You just need to look at week 0 and have a look at there and get engaged with things, find your tutor, and nothing sort of untoward's going to happen now with all this knowledge we've imparted.
No. I think the thing to be excited about, Karen, is that students are embarking on something that we know is going to transform their lives, and that's a really, really exciting option, I think. So higher education opens up things that people might not have thought are possible.
Yeah.
You're taking your first step. I'm sure. Go on, you say, Sinji, go on.
Yes, so the Access course was my first step to start my degree journey and get my qualification, because I wanted to travel with my qualification. And because I survived meningitis, I was nearly dead, so I survived for a reason. So I came out and thought, I have to study, I have to start somewhere. I was worried because I hadn't studied for a while. But then, yeah, I was welcomed, and I'm now on my way to my success.
Things can happen once you've taken your first step.
Okay. Well, everyone's excited, and we've asked them what they've mostly enjoyed about today. So let's see what you said. Biscuits. Oh. Well, chat is the key thing here, but there are lots of other important things that we've been talking about. The biscuits and the pie chat, the past student videos, learning how the OU works, laughing, which is great, great advice, the explanation, all of it, positive reassurance, positive vibe, useful information, meeting everyone, chatting and listening, friendly banter, assessment breakdown, people's enthusiasm, light-hearted, seeing OU people, feeling put at ease, Student Hub Live, knowledge sharing, hats, information, food talk, joining in, interacting with others, great advice, learning environment, feeling part of a family, watching the podcast, tip from the students, pet talk, very important, not so much the snakes, but and in fact, I'm really gutted we didn't have a picture of the snake.
I know, well, are we that gutted?
I wonder whether it really exists. It sounded pretty big.
I couldn't send my assignment in because the snake
Yeah,
ate it.
exactly. Well, thank you all so much for coming in. Thank you at home for logging on. I really hope that we've put you at ease, introduced you to people. As I said at the very start of this programme, nothing here in this session is anything you don't already know. Everything's on the module website, ready for you to talk through. You've got your tutor, you've got your student support team, and you're on the start of an incredible learning journey. So enjoy it. We've got more stuff lined up today and on the Student Hub Live more generally. So this afternoon, we're having an induction for the Faculty of STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. We're looking at things in terms of what I wish other students had told me and what I wish academics had told me. So if you'd like to join in, you are so much more than welcome. And then this evening, we've got an induction for the Faculty of Business and Law from 5 till 7. So again, you're very welcome to come along and meet other colleagues from the university there. The Student Hub Live also offers online interactive workshops for students at any level, and that obviously includes Access students. And we're going to look at a whole host of things from note-taking to time management to critical thinking. But you need a ticket for those events, so do check out the website and make sure that you're booked onto a session that you'd like to attend, if indeed you would like to attend one as well. They're in Adobe Connect, so a slightly different platform, but they're lots of fun, equally as much chat going on, if not more. We've also got a subscription, so if you like these sorts of events, you can just give us your email address and we'll notify you then when other events are coming up. And as I've been saying earlier, we've got a YouTube channel which has hundreds of hours of content on there, but there's lots of other things from the Access team and also other key skills like note-taking, essay writing, etc. So if you'd like to watch those while you're cooking your bolognese or doing other things in the house, then you might find something there that will inspire you. Thank you so much for joining in and meeting other people. You've been absolutely brilliant. Enjoy your journey and I hope to see you very, very soon. Bye for now.